All right, so I wanted to address the meeting that took place at the White House as it regards the the South African president. Okay. Of course, I have some thoughts on it. Here's the deal: wrong is wrong. All right. But you also heard the term, two wrongs don't make a right. And I don't think it was right for Trump to actually go there in the fashion that he did, because the South African president, I don't know his name, but he probably looked at that question coming from a nation that enslaved a race of people and genocided a race of people for 400 years. And then on top of that, the genocide that has taken place via the governments all over the world. I think Africa is the only country that's not on board with it. So those are just my thoughts. I think it could have been dealt with a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? But that just adds fuel to the racial flame that's being fomented in this land that we know as America today. You follow me? That is a question that should have been strategic. That is a question that should have been well thought out, and that is a question that should have been, asked from a standpoint of him knowing that a president, can't control all of the citizens in his country. You follow me? Now, I don't know the details, but I would have went about that a whole lot differently. As stated, that question is coming from the president of a nation that enslaved a group of people or enslaved and or genocided a group of people for 400 years. So we're in no position to ask that question from that standpoint. You follow me? I'm not saying he was wrong in asking the question. I'm saying the way that it was proposed. It should have been something like, listen, we hear you have an understanding, with the white farmers being murdered. I want you to know that, we will give you all of the assistance that you need to alleviate this issue or to suppress the issue. That's how I would have address that. But again, I'm not Donald Trump. You follow me? Everybody's different, but I would have done that differently because of the fomented racial tension that's happening in this nation. So it is what it is. There are going to be some people that don't like my comments. Y'all know me. I keep it real. I just see this thing from both sides. I don't advocate one or the other. Okay, so intel.